Far out in the uncharted backwaters of the unfashionable end of the western spiral arm of the galaxy lies a small, unregarded yellow sun. Orbiting this at a distance of roughly 92 million miles is an utterly insignificant little blue-green planet whose ape-descended lifeforms are so amazingly primitive that two of them still think doing a podcast called Digital Watches Are a Pretty Neat Idea is a pretty neat idea. These podcasters have, or rather had, a problem, which was this. Actually, this is the solution.
This is a distraction. This is our passion. This is all about Douglas Adams. This is a podcast. This was Digital Watches Are a Pretty Neat Idea.
So, Jeff, what is this?
Well, Brian, this is issue number 5 of the IDW Dirk Gently Holistic Detective Agency, and looking at the cover, because it's all about Bart, I decided that the music leading in was going to be a bit grungy.
Awesome, wasn't it? Wasn't it awesome?
It was awesome.
So, I mean, I'm just impressed with this whole process. It's really fun, and I'm hoping people are enjoying it.
So do I, and I want to remind everybody a couple of things. First, if you want to actually see the pages we're looking at, go to our YouTube channel and see that. Also, if you have a favorite song, please contact us by email at digitalwatchespodcast@gmail.com or on our social media. Right now, it's a tie.
Oh, is that right?
Yes. Everybody has 0.
Except for the ones that we like, right?
Right, yeah, well, it doesn't matter what their favorite is. If we like a better one,
Yep.
it might just end up there.
Mm-hmm. Oh, boy, this is an interesting cover, though. We've got one of our favorite characters from the TV show.
Yep.
Miss Bart Curlish. And she's looking like, well, a devil, a god, with her...
Right, Medusa.
8 arms. Yeah, Medusa hair and her 8 arms like Siddhartha or something like that, right?
Yes.
It's quite spectacular. Of course, I think it's sort of interesting because it's got, was it every version of Dirk in a pile below her as she stands victorious above them?
Yes, and there's the one with the hat on face down and you really can't see. I'm not familiar with this one from this comic book.
Right, you know what I'm thinking? And I saw that, but I think you'll agree this may be the book version. He's got a hat on.
Yeah.
He's plump.
He's plump.
You know? So he's got more characteristics of the written version than any of the other characters we've seen so far.
Right. There seems to be 2 with the funky Kramer hairdo. The one that she's got by the necktie, and
Yes.
then kitty corner from that in the bottom right,
Mm-hmm.
you can just see the hair.
Right. Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm. It's quite interesting. Oh, my goodness. And she's yielding a whip,
Yep.
a mop,
Yep.
a fork, like a barbecue fork,
Right.
a pair of nunchucks,
Yep.
a drill, and a machete.
Right.
And her other 2 hands, she's grasping a hold of Dirk's tie and Dirk's yellow jacket.
Right. And they have described her as a holistic assassin.
Yep, spectacular.
And coincidentally, of all of the comics that I have, there is only one issue of the Dirk Gently that I've ever come across, and it happens to be this one. So this issue is the only one I actually own.
Wow, that's fantastic. This is a really good image.
I'm in search of the others, but haven't found them yet.
Mm-hmm. In fact, we spent the weekend looking for them.
Yeah, we did. Yes, we did. We found a nice artist, and I collect trading cards, as you may know if you've listened to other episodes. And I've commissioned this guy to do a series of 5 trading cards, all of the Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, in his particular style, which kind of whimsical, so I'm not sure how he's going to go, but I told him he's got complete creative freedom, and I'll be excited to get whatever it is that he produces. So I've got my fingers crossed, and last I heard he was thinking it might actually be next week.
Wow.
I'll get him.
Fantastic.
So
fantastic.
Yeah. Something else for the gram.
I'm looking forward to it.
So, did a pretty good job describing the cover, so we're going to flip through the next 2 pages probably pretty quickly. First page inside is the previously on.
Yep.
So again, they have many different panels from previous comics, but the through line is done in text boxes that are shaded yellow. He says, I wanted to use Reg's time machine to investigate my childhood, but Sally got accidentally transported and met child me, whilst I met a sister and a brother affected by pararibulitis, avoided an old friend, in quotes, Colonel Riggins, then met an overprotective father named Simon Black. And on to page 2, which is the cast of characters. Oh my goodness, more TV people.
Yes, more TV people. And some of my favorite TV people.
Yes. First, I do want to say that is an absolutely astoundingly incredible picture of Bart. Blood all over her face. It almost looks like she has only half of her eyeglasses or something, because it looks like there's one lens.
Yes.
Got some kind of evil grin. Man, I am so looking forward to this issue.
Right.
But Dirk and Sally and Bernice and Reg are all coming back.
Right.
Isaac Newton.
Right. Isaac Newton.
He's coming back. And tell us the new ones.
Yes, and 2 of our other favorites from the TV show, Zimmerfield and Estevez, the detectives, are going to appear apparently in this episode. And they're pretty well drawn, I think. They look very much like the characters in the TV show.
Yes.
That's pretty cool. And they describe Zimmerfield as the detective that does the eyebrows.
Right.
And Estevez as the detective that doesn't do the eyebrows.
That's right. And they've got a weird picture of Estevez like he's eating a sandwich like somebody's going to steal it from him.
Yeah. Yep, that's absolutely correct.
He's got a suspicious side eye going on.
Right.
So the first page of the story is on page 3. So when we look at page 1, a couple of things I want to start out with. If I remember correctly from what they were talking about in the previous series of comics, A Spoon Too Short, it was mentioning that this was going to be a TV show. And because the characters in the comic are drawn very, very much like the characters in the TV show, I have to believe that the TV show came out before the comic book was released.
Okay.
Or they at least filmed it, or whatever, because there's no way that they just found somebody who looks just like Elijah Wood when he drew Elijah Wood as Todd Brotzman.
Right, exactly.
And as you mentioned, Estevez and Zimmerfield look just like the characters from the TV show.
That's correct, yep.
So in reading this comic, or putting this comic out, telling us there's a TV show, they should give the people buying and reading this comic credit for watching the TV show. And if you don't keep things true to the TV show, it's a real disconnect, which then causes like conflicts in my brain of how am I supposed to look at characters that I know so well and put them in a a different light or whatever.
Right,
So
right.
I want to switch it up here, and I want you to describe the page and read the dialogue or do however you want to do. And then I want to tell you the issues I have with it.
Okay. So on this page, we're looking at a cityscape in 4 panels that are horizontally oriented on the page, top to bottom. So there's 4 horizontal images. And in a car parked on the side of the road are Estevez and Zimmerfield, and they are having a conversation. In the conversation, we start with Estevez. He says, hey, why are we up here, Zim? We don't have any jurisdiction in Vancouver. And then Zim says, missing people are seldom in the first place you look for them, hence the word missing. Then in the third panel, you see Estevez responds, don't do the eyebrows. The eyebrows are not going to work on me today. I can do eyebrows too, you know. And on that particular panel, we know by context that we see Bart walking across the street in front of the car.
Yep.
And then Zimmerfield responds, don't embarrass yourselves. You know you can't do them. And then there's a picture of Bart halfway across the street with a circle inset where she has a machine gun tucked into her jacket.
Yes. And I didn't tell you to do this, but you're going to prove my point perfectly. Or you did prove my point perfectly. In the first panel, you read, why are we up here, Zim? We don't have any jurisdiction in Vancouver.
Mm-hmm.
When it says, why we up here, Zim? We don't have no jurisdiction in Vancouver.
Yes, I did clean that up. I did clean it up. I was offended by the language, so I intentionally changed it.
That's not the Estevez from the TV show.
It isn't. You're right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And I did it consciously because, like you, I do object to the way it's represented here.
And the second thing that I have is, when did Zimmerfield do eyebrows?
There was a couple of times in the show that he did. He did the eyebrows.
And it was when things were just seeming not to make sense.
That's right.
Things seemed hinky. Whenever things seemed weird, he would do the eyebrows.
Right.
There was nothing in this panel or this page that would have caused him to do eyebrows in the TV show. And just because they mentioned eyebrows on the persona page, the cast of characters, they wanted to force it in here and make some uncomfortably weird conversation about missing people being missing, therefore they're not where you look. And he's saying, don't do the eyebrows, which he wasn't going to do the eyebrows because there was no cause to do the eyebrows. So,
well, that's a lot of understanding of the motivation of a character that your average comic book reader is probably not going to get. But I appreciate your description of this page and your feelings about it.
Well, thank you. But I'd say anybody who's seen the TV show and enjoyed these characters would dislike the depiction of them not matching what they are in the TV show.
You are right.
So let's see what travesties befall us on page 4.
We're not getting very far, are we?
No. And it does seem to be a double page.
You bet. Well, Jeff, it looks like we're going to continue on that same thing of things we don't like.
Right. Yep. Yes. So, to quote probably Zimmerfield, because he's going to be referring to himself, as for continuing with things we don't like, the first thing you read in this is, that's true. Only Zimmerfield can do the eyebrows. Only Zimmerfield. And then we see Bart, machine gun in hand, walking toward a building.
3-story building.
3-story building. And evidently, as she's walking in, she sees somebody and asks if that person is Hot Black Desiato. And The person says Mr. Desiato isn't receiving. Third floor. Please don't shoot me.
Then Bart replies, "Why would I shoot you? People get the strangest ideas."
So then you hear bing as the elevator opens.
And as it opens on the second floor, she says, "Hello, is this the third floor?"
No, dear, you've got out one too early. Please don't shoot.
Like I told your lady friend, why would I shoot you? You're not hot black Desiardo. Are you?
No.
One more floor up?
Yes. Then there's another bing from the elevator.
And she says, "Finally."
Hey, who are you? What are you doing here?
"I'm Bart. I'm looking for hot black Desiardo, the boss guy."
No one gets up here without an appointment. Beat it, girlie. You're not Mr. Desiato's type. Bam, 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 bam.
Thus endeth the life of whoever that was.
Correct.
Okay.
So we will move to page 6.
Oh, jeez. Wow.
Again, this is another double page, so this would be pages 6 and 7. And the person who got shot on the previous 2 pages is like, "Arr!"
And Bart says, "Is this the third floor?"
Bang, bang, arr!
Hot black Desiardo, where's his office?
Shoot her back! And then he comes crashing out the window, screaming all the way down. And there's just depictions of blood and glass and guns and things flying as he crashes head first into the sidewalk below the window.
Mm-hmm.
And I have to believe that from the conversation, it does not seem that that was hot black.
No, so far it hasn't been hot black so far.
Well, she doesn't know who hot black is. Nobody has just fessed up to being hot black.
That's
so
correct.
It may or may not be hot black, but I'm guessing not.
Right.
And Estevez and Zimmerfield are a little bit dismayed at their lunch being disrupted.
Because they are parked across the street from this event.
And then they show the title page of The Salmon of Doubt, Bart Kurlish, Holistic Assassin, Chapter 5.
Right. I do like this page. I mean, graphically, it's again, the one thing that I've really enjoyed about this particular comic series is that they've done all kinds of different ways of making the comic book appealing. This is the portrait from the persona page that we described earlier, and it's very, very well drawn here on this page.
Oh, absolutely. But my favorite thing about it is that Zimmerfield is doing the eyebrows when he should be doing the eyebrows.
It's exactly on cue, as you say.
Yes. So we will move to pages 8 and 9. I am so dismayed and confused at this page. So we will give it a try and see if we can together come up with some logic and reasoning for why this is what this is. We are in some fantasy forest, possibly. Would you agree? What would you call that?
Yes. Well, yes. I mean, by the context of the remaining part of the page, I think we are in Princess Kimberly's land.
Okay.
Princess Kimberly, as we know, and the only reason we know that is because there's a banner flying in front of a creature, which we'll describe momentarily. And we know Princess Kimberly as the one who has hired the troll to capture all the cats so she can twist and pervert them into half cat, half whatever she likes animals.
Yes.
we remember from the previous comic, I mean, this does require a lot of thought, as you say, that Reg was asked to follow the cat and to find out where the cat was. So his thought was to go to Sir Isaac Newton, who liked cats and had a cat flap, or was known for the cat flap.
Right.
So apparently this is the continuation of that part of the story.
Yes. And a cat flap seems to have just materialized in the middle of a tree trunk.
Mm-hmm.
And Reg seems to have climbed out of it along with the young Sir Isaac Newton.
In the second part, the lower part of the panel, there's a rampaging group of frogators.
Frogators, yes.
Half man, half frog, in like the shape of what would be like a centaur, with a horse's body, but they have frog bodies and upper parts of human bodies with arms and, well, that's about it. Arms, heads, hair, all that stuff.
Nipple rings.
Yep. And they are rampaging across the jungle, and one of them is flying a banner that says, Princess Kimberly forever.
And one guy is blowing on a horn, and it looks like they're going to war, because they've got spears and, like you said, a banner, and they're charging.
Mm-hmm.
So we will go to page 10. So Reg is with Sir Isaac Newton, the young Sir Isaac Newton, or we'll just call him Izzy. And basically, they're in a land that Reg said is very young, and it's still susceptible to imagination, to new ideas, because it's still trying everything out and hasn't learned the difference between a good idea and a bad one. So evidently, wherever they are, everything is formed through the mind and imagination, I guess, but doesn't make any sense because Reg, to me, always went to the past or another planet in his existing dimension. I don't ever believe he left dimensions, but
no.
He must have traveled to a lot of these weird things because he does seem to recognize that this is a young realm. So they are in a new realm. And he points to a castle on the hill and says, the damsel in distress is always in the castle turret. And I guess since Bernice is a female cat, they expect her to be in the castle turret.
Right. And this page is, as you say, dominated by a castle sitting atop a rather steep hill. Sun is in the background, bright and blinding. Mm-hmm. But above the castle itself, there's a storm cloud, and there appear to be either bats or birds flying down from there. And the storm cloud is emitting lightning. Yep. And of course, Sir Isaac Newton is excited about this atmospheric phenomenon that's very hyper-localized, so causes him to be quite interested in this phenomenon.
Yes, looking at the castle on the top of this hill, it reminds me of when Denise and I visited Lisbon, Portugal, and there was a castle that we could see, and we thought, hey, let's go walk and go to the castle, where I learned or rediscovered 2 truisms about castles.
And that is?
First one, they're always on a hill. Second one, there's only one entrance. So if you approach it from the wrong direction and you don't know which way to go, you can literally walk 9/10 of the way around an entire castle to find the door because there's only one of them.
Oh, that is correct. And you can't tell by this image whether the door is on this side or the other side, frankly.
Nope. No idea where the door is. At least there's not a moat. So we will go to page 11. On this page, we're jumping back to everything we saw at the beginning with Bart breaking into a building looking for hot black Desiato. Evidently here he is a record executive, and some of his clients, or at least one of his clients, would be Lux du Jour, and they have a poster on the wall of that and a couple of platinum records around and all of that. And you hear some of what happened in the beginning with help, R, run, shit, shooter, I did, R. Then Bart blasts her way into the room and says, "So long, hot black." Wait, did somebody else kill you already?
And we see Hot Black taped to his chair.
Yes.
With what looks like a maybe butter knife or a knife stuck in his throat.
Yep.
A hole shot through his head, and
Yep.
his tie stuffed into his mouth.
And there's no blood anywhere.
No blood anywhere.
I want to know who could have possibly killed him with all of the bodyguard security he seemed to have preventing Bart from getting up there.
Mm-hmm.
Had to be an inside job.
Right, absolutely.
So we'll find out, hopefully, on page 12. On this page, it starts out with a little inset box, which looks like there's a secret opening or a secret door that is clicking closed. And then Bart hears what we'll call an electronic voice saying, "The men of the machine thank you for your services, Ms. Curlish. That was a good kill."
And Bart says on the comic book page, "Who's dat?
Yeah.
Why you talking to me through the walls?"
Now, before I go on with what they say, first, the TV show, Bart would wonder how there could be a tiny little person behind the grill that's a speaker.
Right.
She would not have jumped to the conclusion that somebody was talking to her through the walls.
Right.
And again, the electronic voice coming from the speaker in the wall says, "What's in a name? That which we call a rose by any other name would smell as sweet. Call me Jake."
And Bart replies, "That's a boy's name, but you have a pretty girl's voice. You're like me, a girl with a boy's name."
I think we have lots in common. I think we're going to get on fantastically.
"Maybe," Bart says, "he was who I was supposed to kill, but someone had killed him first. Maybe he killed himself? That's not happened before."
And the way they're writing Bart's dialogue, to me, seems pretty true to the TV show. She did have an odd way of speaking, and it was very clipped and very childlike. So, lack of understanding of lots of the outside world. So,
Right.
that doesn't bother me about Bart because it fits the character.
Yep.
The fact that she thought somebody was talking through the wall, that doesn't really fit.
Right.
So we'll go to page 13. My interpretation of the previous page was incorrect, where I thought someone who had just killed him just went out and the door was going to click close. The secret passage through the wall seemed to have just clicked open.
Mm-hmm.
And basically Bart was told that if she wants to avoid the police, go through the door. And she said the police won't get her. And they said, well, they'll get us and we don't want them. So go out the door.
Right. And she goes on to say, so if I go through that door, you'll explain what's just happened?
Of course we will. We'll have such a lovely chat.
And Bart responds in kind, all right, but only 'cause I like it when people explain things.
And I swear in the TV she didn't like when people talk too much.
Mm-hmm.
And Estevez and Zimmerfield break through the door, shouting freeze, pointing their guns, looking at an empty room, except for hot black Desiato in the condition we explained earlier. So we'll go to another double page. Lots and lots of double pages, and I tell you, they look fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Page 14 and 15. So on this page, we have Estevez and Zimmerfield standing in Hot Black's office in front of his desk, looking down at him. discovering that he's dead. Estevez doesn't know him, and Zimmerfield tells him that it is Hot Black Desiato, head of Death Blast Records, and coincidentally bookkeeper of the Vancouver mob. And Estevez was wondering if that was Bart Kurlish who just whacked him. And then we jump down and Bart gets her explanation. And somehow, electronic through the speaker voice follows her wherever she goes without broadcasting through any other speakers.
And the voice describes to Bart that it was a very simple reason why Hot Black had to die. There was a tax investigation into him that would have revealed some things about the organization that they would prefer to remain hidden. He had to die dramatically in front of full law enforcement. And what could be more dramatic than being killed by the infamous, unstoppable Bart Kurlish? And at that point, Bart responds.
Bart responds by doing an internal dialogue of how nobody hires her. She just does what the universe wants. And she's never killed the wrong person. And she has a feeling to kill somebody. And she kills them. So she's very confused as to why this voice thought that they directed Bart to kill somebody. So, like we kind of talked about off mic in a way, Hot Black in the book was dead for tax reasons. Bart was supposed to kill him or had the feeling to kill him. Walked in, saw he was dead, and I'll use quotation marks, so did not finish him off.
No.
So she's very unsettled because she doesn't understand what's going on because this is the first time things haven't worked out how she thought they were supposed to. And she found a cat. Doesn't look like Bernice, though.
No, not at all. It's a white cat. But she plays with the cat for a minute and then releases it back to its home. And at that time, out in the alleyway, out from the alleyway, actually, you can see a stretch limousine passing by.
Yes.
And from inside, you see the words, "That was well done."
Right.
And once again, although I'm not really overly excited about the content of this page,
Right.
I do like its nature. It's tilted at a 45-degree or approximate angle. So everything's kind of twisted in the squares where Bart is doing her monologue and Estevez and Zimmerfield are responding are all at a cockeyed angle. Again, extremely well drawn and entertaining in terms of its graphic use of the page.
Right, absolutely. So we will go to page 16. On this page, we are inside the limousine, and we have a woman talking to a man, but on each side of the woman are a couple of bald guys. No tattoos, but bald guys.
Yeah, thugs from the Men in the Machine.
And they explain how they hired Bart because she's unhireable. They believe it seemed to have been done with subliminal suggestion. Radio playing, exposing her to Hot Black's band's music, and newspapers that are telling her to kill him, and then evidently she said it worked. And now we have a depiction of what the true Men of the Machine were like from the TV show. The guy who was now the police captain was in Hot Black's body, and he has jumped. So the dead Hot Black is not... Hot Black was this guy in the limo, and he jumped out of that guy. He jumped out of Hot Black into that guy and then left through the secret door, and then they killed Hot Black. But he enjoyed the life of Hot Black for a while, and now he is out as evidently the police captain, according to the...
Then on the bottom panel of this page, we discover that the police captain is the other person riding in the vehicle, or at least the body of the police captain.
Correct.
Who now is the soul of Hot Black, and the woman, as the leader of the Men in the Machine, is describing to him what his new assignment will be.
Right.
And then they make a kind of crude joke that Hot Black, he died basically for tax purposes.
And then they laugh and laugh and laugh and laugh like they've read Hitchhikers or something.
Yeah,
I don't.
like they pretended like they actually read it. Because as we've said before, Hot Black, when we were introduced to him in the TV show and in the book, he is dead for tax reasons.
Yes.
At least for a year.
Right. Right. This one seemed permanent.
Yes, it does indeed. But what I think is the most interesting piece of this particular puzzle here is if you look at the center panel of this page, and you see that half of it is black with an insert of scenes from Bart's life.
Yep.
And the other half is the close-up picture of the evil woman's face.
Right.
But the pattern, I'm not an expert here, but the pattern on the right looks suspiciously like the paw of a cat.
Yeah, I guess it does. I don't know if that was intentional or not, but it does have that look to it.
Yep.
So we will go to page 17. So now we see Simon Black in a hospital bed, completely bandaged and casted, and the hospital staff are telling Sally that this guy is lucky that there was a qualified nurse that was passing by, or else he would be dead.
Mm-hmm.
She was glad to help, but says she has no idea who he is, but they might have a friend in common.
Doctor says, okay, well, the police are going to want to word with you. And Sally responds,
Yes, of course, but I just need to use the restroom first.
And the doctor says, take your time.
And she enters the restroom.
And just as she does, there's a whoosh of air blowing her skirt back in a very odd and confusing way.
Yes. Sally got back.
Well, at least she had one, but it fell down about 3 feet.
That's right.
Oh. But as she steps forward, she's now back in the room of computers.
All of the TV screens and the hi-fi.
Mm-hmm.
So we will move to page 18. So while Sally is standing in the room full of TV screens or video screens, she's asking what that was supposed to teach her. And she wants to know if that was to let her know that if you let Dirk gently into your life, it will dramatically increase the odds of a fatal accident. And she thought that she already had a sense of that.
Yes. And the hi-fi responds to her, you saved the man Simon Black. You also learned that Dirk was helping the daughter Farah.
And she's still like, whatever. This is so infuriating. All these channels, nothing's worth watching. Show me what Dirk, my Dirk, is doing now. And she seems to get a vision of Dirk, who looks like the Tom Baker era Doctor Who. And she's saying he drives her crazy because Simon could be dead. She's missing for all he knows. She could be in danger, but he's playing dress up like he doesn't have a care in the world. I could kill you, Dirk Gently. I could kill you. Do you hear me? I want to kill you, Dirk Gently.
And the hi-fi responds, be careful, Mills, Sally Mills. The walls are thin here, and sound can seep into the worlds.
And then you see the sound leaving her voice box, or her voice balloon, or word balloon, and going off into the worlds. So I wonder who's going to pick up on that subliminal message.
As if we don't already know, right?
Right.
But again, what an incredibly interesting page this is.
Yes.
The background is top to bottom covered with the different scenes that we have seen and not seen from the TV show, etc., of Dirk's life.
Yep.
And the center part of the page is basically a silhouette of Sally herself,
Right.
facing towards the TV screen. But she's divided into 3 sections where there are 3 panels.
Right.
One you've already described, Dirk, with his colorful scarf,
Right.
looking like Doctor Who.
Yeah.
The center one, she's got her temple basically up against the screen that she's looking at Dirk at. And then the final one, there's a larger view of her and the words drifting off into the universe. Kill you, Dirk, gently. Kill you, kill you.
Yes. Screaming at the TV.
Again, a beautifully drawn page.
So, page 19. And as you probably would suppose, the Kill You Dirk Gentlies were floating through the universe into a dumpster where Bart happened to be sleeping, having some kind of a weird dream, probably a dream. And she tells the universe that she has it loud and clear. She's going to kill Dirk Gently, whoever or whatever that is.
Yes, indeed. She looks quite angry and ready to kill Dirk.
Absolutely. Yes. That's a pretty menacing face that she has there.
Mm-hmm.
Looking in the garbage can or the dumpster that she is sleeping in, tried to see if there was anything that was really kind of a Easter egg or whatever. There's a pizza box, which is kind of funny.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't get the very bottom. It says Afterburn. Did that make any sense to you?
No, I'd have to look that up because it's Byrne. That sounds or looks like it's written like a person's name.
Right. So we will go to page 20. On this page, which is the last page, we are at the airport. A plane has arrived, British Airways, from London. It has landed. Crowd is leaving the plane. Chauffeur standing with a Dirk Gently sign in his hands. And a man in a yellow jacket, carrying pajamas, walks up to him.
Okay, so it's a little obvious.
And they are doing a pretty good depiction of this version of Dirk instead of just having this comic doing his type of dialogue. He sees the sign and he says, "Oh, hello, that's me, isn't it? What a snazzy hat you have. Does Mr. Spring choose all your hats himself? Is it good working for a billionaire? So far, I quite like it. Do you know, in first class, they give you the cutest pajamas? I've taken 3 sets. Would you like one?"
Oh my gosh. On the bottom 2 panels, on the first panel, we have the chauffeur responding to him. "Miss Black said I was to take you to the Paramin Grand, sir. A room has been prepared for you."
And then we get to see the Dirk in disguise as Doctor Who has been watching this exchange on his phone, say, well, he's thinner than I imagined.
And of course, the little Easter egg that we get on the top left-hand panel is that prior to British Air's arrival at 1625, there will be an arrival of Norwegian Air 666.
Correct.
At 1442.
Right. Thor must be on that plane.
Yeah. And it's repeated again on the bottom of the page, too, which is a little weird. But
Well, because they don't know how airports work.
yeah, exactly. Or who Brian Leonard is.
Right.
Oh, my gosh.
And then it says, "To be continued."
Yes, we've reached the end of another comic book, Jeff.
We reach the end of an issue entirely devoted to Bart Kurlish, who didn't kill one person. Well, actually, she did. I guess on her way up to Hot Black, she did dispatch a few of his security personnel.
Which I'm sure deserved it.
Yes.
Because that's the way the universe works for Bart.
Yes, that's the way it works. I was hoping for a much bloodier issue.
So, as you say, though, this is kind of light on content. We love Bart. I mean, I do. I think she's a great character. She's really not a Douglas Adams character, though.
No, she's not.
It's quite interesting in that respect. But it's just, I guess the design of this particular comic book has been to try to coalesce all the universes together and bring a story forward.
Yeah, that's what it seems to be. Because they've got everything and everybody. Not just Dirk, but they're dragging hitchhikers in.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. So now that we've finished this comic book, Jeff, what's next?
Well, I'm guessing that we should just jump right to the end in issue 9. No?
Some of those that are listening are probably begging us to do exactly that.
Right. Then, therefore, we're going to do issue 6 of the Salmon of Doubt.
Well, I'm sure every one of those listeners wants to hear the next installment of our theme song.
Of course. We got, 4 more to go?
I'm looking forward to it. It's been really a lot of fun.
It has. So, in order for me to go figure out what theme song is going to be next, we'll have to say that this is the end. All right, so just go with me here with this.
You got it. Remember, it's yes and.
No,
that's what you taught me. That's what I try to do every single time.
No, I decided that if you wanted to be adversarial, we'd play adversarial. That's
oh, okay.
I just didn't expect it when you were doing it. I was thinking that I would say something and you'd go, wow, that's an interesting way of looking at it. I never did. And you would just go, no, that's completely wrong. So, so you just threw me for a loop. But then now that I know what the rules are, it's all been fine. Thank you for listening to this. A new episode is released on the first Thursday of every month. Visit our website at digitalwatchesareaprettyneatidea.buzzsprout.com. While there, you can find links to all of my Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy inspired t-shirt designs. You can contact us via email at digitalwatchespodcast@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube and Facebook at Digital Watches Are a Pretty Neat Idea. You can message us on Twitter, or should I say X, at Watches Idea, and our Instagram is Watches Idea Podcast.
This has been a Fruits for Thought production, darling. This has been a Fruits for Thought production, darling. This has been a Fruits for Thought production, darling. This has been a Fruits for Thought production, darling. This has been a Fruits for Thought production.